Labour lied about electricity prices. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because I want to look at this article discussing, well, the surge in electricity prices by Christmas. So remember how Labour promised that they'd save us all money on our power bills? I hope you didn't vote for that, guys, and I think a generation are going to learn. They're going to learn why you don't vote Labour in at a federal level, maybe. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Maybe a dose of reality. Or learn not to trust politicians, and their promises are worth nothing. So electricity prices to surge 20% higher by Christmas. And it's just going to even get worse. This push at state and federal levels to drive Australia to use disposable renewable energy for our base load is just insane. And we've had a look at how that's just going to drive up the costs. And then they want us to try and manufacture in Australia? Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we're going to compete with China with our solar panels. Yeah, what a bloody joke. Aussies have been warned to brace for high electricity prices, with Treasurer Jim Chalmers flagging prices are expected to surge 50% by next year. 50%. A 50% price increase. That's the saving they promised us, isn't it? There you go. Oh, boy. With all of this stuff, quality of life is just going to get tougher. It is just going to get tougher. And my biggest concern as, well, foolishly, this will drive people to demand more government intervention in their lives. It'll drive people the wrong direction. Rather than pushing for individual liberty and realizing that the people causing the problems are the government's artificially driving the market to these unsustainable transitions, it's going to do the opposite. The government modelling found that someone whose electricity bill was around $500 would soon be paying $780. So you're approaching $1,000. Chalmers said the government was focused on transitioning Australia to renewable energy, which in the long run would lower prices. No, it wouldn't. It's because the modelling that they do, I mean, they've already buggered up this modelling, all the other stuff. The modelling they use to actually calculate the cost of energy doesn't take into consideration all of the additional infrastructure you need to build to ensure we've got reliable, variable, renewable energy. And what happens in 25 years' time, even less, when the infrastructure needs to be re-energized? You tell me. It costs more. Future generations are going to pay for this and look at us like we're idiots. We're looking at all the uranium and natural resources we have here and going, why do you remove people from their homes, build these huge dams that are just used as battery backpacks? I'm waiting for when they have diesel generator pumps filling up the top of the dam because it all screws over. I'm just waiting for that to happen. Cost of living is going to go through the roof. And a bigger part of that, unfortunately, will be electricity prices, Chalmers told the ABC News. We've been upfront with people and said there will be higher costs for electricity. That will be unavoidable given the international conditions. But we've also said renewable energy is not just cleaner energy, it's also cheaper. It's also in time more reliable. No, it's not. It's more reliable when it's not more reliable for us. We have abundant natural resources here in Australia. Our access to coal is not an issue. You've got a power plant built right next to a bloody coal mine. They put it on the conveyor belt and it just takes it right into the power plant. This is not access to natural energy resources is not an issue here in Australia. Dealing with a bunch of incompetent idiots that believe this fantasy that importing solar panels from China is going to be better for the environment. This is just completely ludicrous. Now let's bring up a quote here from our very own chief scientist. If we were to reduce the carbon emissions of the world by 1.3%, which is our contribution to it, it would make no impact on climate change. Have virtually nothing. Frankly, most of what the world is doing to try and address climate change is going to have no impact on it at all. So it's just, well, it's going to make our lives more expensive, guys. That's what it is. It means future generations, including us, are going to have it tougher than previous generations. So the boomers had, cheap power, cheap real estate, boom times, and now they're feeling they want to suck out everything they can in the housing market, so they're propping that up to the shit, and they're going to make cost of living more expensive. If power affects everything, don't think you're not going to be affected because you've got solar panels on your roof. The loaf of bread that you buy in the factory needs power. The truck driving around, even if it's not a electricity truck, there's power involved in the whole process. This is insane that they're doing this. They need to leave it up to the market, not to the bloody government intervention. What they should do, if they're really worried about it, just plant some bloody trees to offset the carbon. It'd be nothing. So, renewable energy to get a $20 billion boost. Yeah. After 10 frustrating years and more than 20 failed energy policies, Australia now has a government that understands the generational and economic imperative of acting on climate change. Treasurer Jim Chalmers said in a budget speech on Tuesday night. Yeah, we've seen that. We've gone through the budget. If you're a small business owner, independent-minded, you're kind of screwed. But this is what 30% of Australians voted for? Some voted for even worse. They voted for the Greens. I guess people need to learn the hard way, guys. Or they're people who are working in the civil service. Or they're not going to be impacted by this. It's only going to be the dumb poor plebs. And, you evil small business owners. So no energy price relief in the budget. And while a switch to renewable energy is a noble goal, that doesn't help Australians struggling to keep up with rising prices at the moment. Shadow Treasurer Angus Taylor branded the budget a vanity project, saying it would leave Australian families $2,000 worse off by Christmas. Yes, and this is what people need to learn. They need to experience Labor government at a federal level. They really need to experience it again. It needs to go to shit. Okay? They need to see that, we've got less money in our pocket. Everything's getting more expensive. Unemployment's going up. They need to experience that. That's the only way you'll learn. Taylor said spiking electricity prices and interest rates would hurt families, and the government failed to deliver relief. This is incredibly disappointing. What's the point of this budget? He said. Why did they have a budget now when we normally have a budget in May? Is this a vanity project for Jim Chalmers? Is it simply about him? So consider fixing your electricity rate. For how long? Have you heard of fixing your mortgage rate? Do you know you can fix your electricity rate? Fixed rate energy plans are contracts that lock in a set price to be paid for electricity or gas. Yeah, okay, CanStar, awesome, you can do that, but then in 2 years' time, you're screwed. There was a brickworks in Victoria that went under because they couldn't afford the increase in the electricity prices. The energy companies tend to review their prices every 12 months, and fixed rate products allow customers to effectively beat the price hikes. No, they don't. They just put it off. So, anyway. They obviously paid for the article. So, guys, there we go. Let's have a talk about this one. So, their promises of cheaper electricity were bullshit. Everyone knew it. Honestly, I think this is just a generation of young people realizing why you don't vote left. That's what they have to learn. They have to learn it the hard way. Your life's going to be worse. Okay? All the promises are bullshit. Just wait and learn. As always, thanks for watching. Check out my other channels, HeiseBim and HeiseSays International. If you want to support us, you can financially on YouTube or Patreon, using our referral links, buying our pocket squares, or calling us if you need an architect. Take care, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode of HeiseSays.